Hello and welcome back to the channel KK and EV. Nice to see you back yet again. Just a heads up on this one, I have going on for 2,500 subscribers, and it seems to me that those subscribers, and I love you all for subscribing, don't come back and watch too many videos. The majority of my watchers are new people, new viewers, new folk who then subscribe, which is great. There's a little bell icon. If you can all do this for me when you're watching this or when you've watched it, and go and just make sure that you've got the icon up there ready to click, and it will notify you when my next one's coming up. So let's get that out of the way. Anyway, let's move on, folks. This one's all about the Mustang Mach-E. Now, well, I've had a bit of a love affair with the Mustang Mach-E, and before I go further, I don't want anyone saying it's not a Mustang. Ford called it a Mustang. Ford used the Mach-E emblem, wording or whatever from the 70s. And if they want to call it a Mustang, they can. It's been a Mustang and it's been a Mach-E for nearly 5 years, so let that one go, folks. Don't forget, you are looking at a very big Mustang owner over 4.5 decades. I've had lots of Mustangs, probably more than most of you watching could ever even dream about. I've had them all, been there, done it. The only one I haven't had is the Shelby orientation of it. Very near buying one of them once, but I backed out because it weren't that quick and weren't that good, so I didn't bother. But anyway, let's move on. I've thought about this post and I just can't get my head around it. It's spinning like a melon, you know, and that is that how many people own 2024 variant models of the Mach-E but don't realise that around 2/3 into 24 there were some major changes. And so if you went into a dealership towards the end of 2024 and bought your Mach-E brand new, did you get all the bits and bobs you should have got? Because in the US, they've got a lot of variants added to this thing. They're now standard on the 2025 model, and I will be bringing up the 25 model in this post. I'm confused. I'll tell you where I am with this. I had a video posted 4 months ago about me selling my Tesla, and yeah, still got it, by the way, folks. Lovely car, brilliant car, one of the best cars I've ever had. I send it there, forget Elon, don't care about him. The car is what it's all about, and it's great. Let's move on. Yeah, I've still got my Tesla, but I did do a video, this one here, all about the cars that I made a shortlist about, which I was going to buy or thinking about buying to replace my Model 3. Have a look at that if you want to, you'll see what I'm talking about. One of those cars was the Mustang Mach-E. Now, I would love a GT spec of that car. The problem is, I'm a devil for my right foot. And because of that, the range will be shite. I've heard from GT owners that if you put your foot down everywhere you go, you can get less, even in the summer, less than 200-mile range. That ain't good enough, folks. Not good at all. Now, could I be light-footed if I had the GT spec and hopefully get around 230, 240 range out the thing? Possibly, but then I think to myself, what's the point of having the GT if you're not going to have the fun out of it? Because the new variant and the new software, 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, folks. You know, and that's nice off the lights. Even at my age, it still gives me a thrill. So, and I don't need the noise and the pollution and the exhaust silliness, don't need it. I still get a thrill out of the actual speed. So the GT is in the back of my mind, but in reality, the one that I will probably end up going for will be the extended battery version, and I'll go for the premium. Now the premium gets some extra bits, and this is where it gets all very, very confusing. Let me explain. Now, I will be buying the 2024 variant. I'd love to buy a brand new one, but I am not spending 47, 48, 52, 56,000 again on any car. I vowed after buying the Tesla that that was going to be the most expensive car I would ever buy, and it has been, and I will never ever spend that amount of obscenity of money again on a car. So forget new. Now, quality used, this is where it all gets spinning your melon. In 2024, because that's the kind of year I'm looking at, or a 74 plate as we call it here in the UK, and I'm sorry about my To my American viewers, this might be very, very oddball and a bit confusing for you if you hear of a 24 plate, a 74 plate and all the rest of it. It's the way we register our vehicles, I'm afraid, and I don't want to go into that today because it's quite complex and a bit stupid. I'm not going there. So back to the Mach-E. Now, you owners out there who have got a 2024 Mach-E and bought it new, okay, or have it on PCP or whatever, or lease term or whatever, did you realise that if you went into that dealership, there were some variants, some bits and bobs, some changes that were already happening before 2025, which are now standard on the 2025. So my point here is, if you bought a brand new one in July or August, you were probably on the verge of not getting these goodies in the UK or on the European spec Mach-E. In America, I believe they hit around that time and became standard. Let me list them here. I will start with the most, should I say, small-minded thing that really peeves me, but it did happen. The frunk. Now, the frunk on the 2021 to 2024 variants, now mind if you went for premium or select or whatever, are all the same. In mid-24, Ford started putting a different frunk in the Mach-E. A lot of you won't even realise they do. But the old one had partitions and slots. The later one has no slots for partitions, and it drains different as well. So that was the first thing that got me thinking, has Ford ripped you off? Now I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking, how many Mach-E's were sitting unsold in lots at Ford places, in the fields, in the whatever, waiting to be sold, okay? How long did it take to shift one of those once it's been shipped in as a right-hand drive vehicle, made in Mexico, I believe? 3 months, 5 months, 6 months? Now, a lot happens in that 4 to 6 months. The new variant came out. So if you were sold a late 24 registered vehicle, you should have got the rear motor, the Ford rear motor, not the Borg Warner, which would have gave you the faster speeds. Even the rear wheel drive, not the all wheel drive, the rear wheel drive one, I believe that was something in the region of about 7.2 seconds 0 to 60. That now has been brought down to 5.8. It now matches the all wheel drive dual motor from early 24. I'm hoping this is spinning your head the way it spanned mine, because I'm a potential buyer of a used premium all wheel drive Mach-E. But I want to get it maxed out. I want all the options. I want all the goodies. I want the faster Ford motor. I want the new lights. I want the sequential indicators, if they are in the UK. I know they are in the US. Mach-E owners, please just, say they do, say they don't. 3 white lights on normal side, and then when you use your turn signals, they flash sequentially. The things I'm getting at the moment are the options that are there, but only there on the later 24 spec models. So if you bought a 2024 in September, October and didn't get these things as standard, then again I feel you were ripped off by Ford, because they were there on the US spec one, and they would have been there on the UK one if you'd have got a recently imported one instead of it sitting in a field for 3 months as an earlier 24 spec. You get what I mean? Now, I brought these up as examples of what's for sale at the moment. This is a 74 plate, for example, okay? 0 to 60 in 4.6, so it must have the new Ford motor and the new software. If you go down to the registration date, you'll see it there, look, the 1st of the 11th, 2024. Okay, 1st of November, that must have been in the dealership at least 2 weeks before they sold that and registered it for the actual owner. This one here, again, 74 plate, got the old style frunk in the front. I don't know why, but the dealer is making out, and no, don't forget this is a rear wheel drive, the dealer's making out that it's still got the faster Ford motor. It must have. It's got 5.6 seconds 0 to 62. I don't get it. There you go, look, there's the frunk. It's the old one, slotted one. Why? Okay, this one, late 24, has all the changes, got the new lights, look, fitted on there, as you can see.
exactly what I would be looking for, and has got the 0 to 62 faster, and it's registered 22/11/24, very late 24, and the 0 to 60 is 4.6. Now these last two, this will blow your mind again. The red one very similar to what I've just seen, okay, but it hasn't got the faster speed. Look, it's still got the 5.8, that one on the left hand side. On the right hand side, you might have to go back and look at this, but on the right hand side, this one was registered on the 8th of the 11th 2024 and has nothing new about it. It's all old. The lights are old and everything else. I don't get it. I do not get it how Ford did this to people buying in late 2024. So come on then people, tell me how these vehicles registered around the same time. One's fully loaded, one's not, with the new options. Tell me how. Was it Ford?
You can't even really check VIN numbers to see if it's got the Ford motor over the Borg-Warner unit. Now, you could get a build date, which will probably be inside the door somewhere. Go check your build dates and see what it says. But I assure you now, if you went in there and bought it as a late 24, you should get all these bits I've mentioned. Not the heat pump, that was 25. And if you bought a 25 and you've got no heat pump, they ribbed you. Take it back. Tell them you want your money back and you want one with a heat pump. But I may be very wrong here, but this is what I've found as I've been going along, delving into this before I go and spend my 35 to nearly 40k, which to me is an excessive amount of money for a used car, no matter how nice it is, you know, before I actually go out and purchase one. Okay. Do you feel you're getting ripped off? Do you feel you were ripped off? Do you feel you was given an earlier vehicle than you really should have got? Because I just feel that most people have been ripped off on the 2024. If you've got a 23, this does not affect you because there were no real changes. 22 and 21, they're all the same. Nothing really happened big. So yeah, that's where I am with it. My mind is twisted. So come on, you Mach-E people, give me some comments below. Enlighten me, educate me if you want to. You know, I'm not 100% on Mach-E's. I've not even driven one yet. I've sat in one, all the rest of it. I've walked around a dozen. You know, I point them out when I'm driving to the missus. There's a Mach-E, blah, blah, blah. I even know what colour I want. So many options that I don't think people realise are out there that you should have got with these vehicles. And even now, if you're buying a 2025 model, by now, yes, 100%. Come on, guys, it's May. If you've got one on order now and you're picking it up next week as a 25 model, everything I've mentioned here should be standard. The heat pump, you know, definitely. The software update, the faster speeds, the Ford motor, they should all be there, make no doubt about it. And if they're not, I would definitely say no to it before you take it away from the Ford dealership. Now, let me just clear something up about the US model. Now, in the USA, most, let's say 2025 models would have been able to order in September. And how I remember it back in the day, because I've had nearly 5 decades of American cars. When I used to go a lot across there and looking at the new models in the dealerships, you could see the 82 in September of 81 and place an order. And so when 82 came about, you would definitely get in the latest model. So I do believe that's the way they still do it. I believe in the showrooms in September, by the end of September, you do see next year's model of most of what is available. I don't know if some manufacturers have changed that now and you wait really till the end of the year before you actually see it in the showrooms. Again, if any of my American subscribers or watchers are seeing this, please comment below. Tell me I'm wrong or right. Is it still by the end of September that you see next year's models in your dealerships? Intrigued? Educate me, come on. Now, the Americans definitely 100% had some of these options going on, even down to the front being different, in, I believe, about June time of 2024. But I again cannot get my head round. Oh, and by the way, if there's any American customers who bought a 2024 Mach-E in late 24 and ended up not having the rear motor in your vehicle, or a lot of the other things I've said and the different looking frunk, please let me know, because again I feel that maybe you were ripped off by Ford USA, because you should have got those bits and bobs. But again, I've tried to find out from Ford dealerships. Let me make this quite clear. I have rang 2 or 3 major Ford dealerships here in the UK and asked them about a car they've got for sale. this may shock you. When I rang them, the first question, let's say I seen a car for sale, which is the right colour I wanted, the price was not great but very near what I wanted to pay, and it had the spec I wanted. I would ask them, hiya there, you've got this blah blah at £34,000 or £36,000. Yep, got it still in stock. Lovely, okay, super duper. May I ask you a few questions about it? Yes, you may, they would say. The first question I always said was, has it got the Ford motor in the rear fitted? I normally got a blank silence for 2 or 3 seconds and then go, sorry, the Ford motor, you've got a late October 2024 vehicle registered, so I'd have thought by then it would have had the Ford motor fitted in the rear. Oh, sorry, I don't know. Now, this don't know was the same from the 3 dealerships and the 3 car salesmen that I rang. Not one of them knew about the Ford rear motor in 2024, the late period of 24. So then I'd go, okay, I can't make out from the pictures if it's got the newer shape lights with the 3 white markings on per side. Is there a way you can go and turn the lights on and send me a picture just to verify that it's got the correct lights? Oh, what do you mean? Well, they did a light variation, a headlamp variation in the front. Oh, I didn't know that. By this time, you know, you're thinking, these are Ford dealership sales guys, okay? Now, I'm not going to mention any who rang, any that were for sale. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not here to make them look silly, but I'm here to get the facts of what you actually get in a Mach-E in late 2024 here in the UK. And again, my American friends, what you got in late 24 for a Mach-E. I need to know these things. I'm willing to go and spend my money. You people out there have got to educate Mr. KK and tell me exactly what you got for your late 2024 and if you feel you were ripped off, because I just can't get information from Ford UK. Now, if I had 55k to go into a Ford dealership tomorrow and say, I want a 2025 Mach-E, show me what you got, I'd expect to see the new 3 white marking lights. I'd expect to go like this with my foot and the hatch come up. I'd expect to see a smaller front because of the heat pump that's now fitted. I'd expect to see the new software, i.e. in the respect of faster acceleration from this Ford motor. If I didn't, I wouldn't buy it. And then I would really rip in to the Ford man trying to sell it to me. I won't be in that position again. I'm not going to spend 48 to 55k on a new Mach-E. No, I'm not going to do it. So that's where we are. So I thought I'd just do this post because of my melon being twisted regarding the I would call it a facelift, if you want to call it that, really, although it wasn't really facelifted to look at, but there was 3 or 4 items that became stock and standard from June in America and definitely should have been available here from, I would say, October onwards. Now, before I finish this, there are actually 2 for sale that I know to now that have got the faster acceleration, if you go into look in the details of it, being put on by Ford. But if it means spending an extra 4k, and this is my last question for all you Mach-E people out there, if you were in my shoes now and you could get a 24 spec, which to me now is dated, sorry guys, sorry, in comparison to the bits you get in the late 24, early 25, and it was 35k, but in front of you, you had one with the more modern sequential lights at the front, the different front, not smaller, but it's just a different piece of plastic in the front. The quicker acceleration and the Ford motor with the software update. Would you pay an extra 4k for that? There's a question for you. Would you pay the 39k? Would you pay 2 grand extra for it, knowing that you've got the better things which are now standard on the 2025 model? Because if you don't want to pay that extra 2 to 4 grand, you're back in early 24. So I'm going to leave it there. I've twisted my own melon by going all the way through these things, and I hope that some of you have got these when you bought them. I hope that you late 24 folks did get them as standard. Please, you know, let me know. Comment below. I just need to find out. I'm finishing it here. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you do subscribe to KK and EV. I'd love you to. And if you're not, and it's your first time here, where you've been, I say it every time. But thanks for watching. Thanks for me going on and boring you. I don't want any comments, by the way, regarding it shouldn't be called a Mustang, it's not a Mustang and all that garbage. If Ford own it, they can call it what they bloody like. And to me, it's a Mustang. To me, it's a Mach-E. Tough. I'm out of here. Goodbye.